Hey gamers, welcome to another episode of Building Character, a show where we go ahead and take our favorite RPGs. Today it is again Dungeons and Dragons, and we're going to be doing a character build to kind of show the mechanics of the system, but also it's just fun building characters. We all love doing it, and we've been on like a villainous path recently, and we're going to continue on that path today with building another villain, or possibly villains. So we put a picture up of some miniatures we painted previously on some Painting Happy Little Minis episodes, and had people vote on them to see which ones would be the characters that we build today. So Leona, what were our numbers on that?
Okay, so the Dragonborn had 9 votes.
Nice.
The two ladies had 16 votes, but now 17 because of Johnny.
All right.
And then the Mimic also had 17 votes.
Also had 17 votes.
Yes.
All right, so because it's a tie, first I'd like to say that you guys are the meanest. I mean, a Mimic, it's a companion at best. It's not a character. I mean, depending on how played as a companion, sure, it could be a pretty fun character to have around. So what we will do, I will break the tie. We will do the young ladies as our character build today, but if we have time, maybe we'll put some backstory to the Mimic as well. Because, it is a cool miniature, and Dave Taylor did a great job painting it, so we should give it some character build love as well. So, hey, what's up, Nick? Thanks for joining us today. And to everybody out there, if you'd be so kind as to share our stream on your Facebook page, or in a page or group that you think would like to watch what we're doing, that would be awesome, so that the world can enjoy all that we do here. What's up, Sarah and Timothy? Everybody is here today. So based on the miniatures on the rotator, you're going to see that there are two female characters, and those two female characters, you have the one that looks like she's dancing, and the one with the sword. So technically, I'm going to throw a little backstory that I've already kind of come up with in regards to these two characters. You may think, oh, they could be sisters. That's kind of a neat idea, or something like that. But I'm going to go with the dancing girl that has that Romani look to her, is a sorceress who at one point had cast a mirror image spell that got warped by wild magic, and one of her images became sentient and is the other female character with the sword. All right, so we're going to have that base already. She is a sorceress, cast mirror image in a wild magic zone, and it corrupted her spell and made that other female character a living being, a sentient creature. And that's how I think that will make for a fun character build. Real quick, I'm going to share this because we all know that we got to put this in the D&D group, right? Real quick. And if you guys aren't a member of the Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition group, you should really join it. They're a lot of fun over there, a lot of great posts, and lots of fun questions and answers in regards to the game that we love. Doing character creation.
Did Leona tell us who's
live.
in the chat yet, or no?
What?
I just wondering if has anyone said who's in the chat.
Nick, Sarah, Timothy. Facebook is still lagging, so some people have switched over to Twitch.
Yeah, if you are experiencing some lag on your end because of our end on Facebook, we are on Twitch and YouTube.
Yep.
So you can always.
And those are streaming better.
And they're streaming live as well.
Yeah.
Oh, 1,000-year beard is on. Hello from the Pacific Northwest. Nice. All right, so let's roll some stats. So the first stats we're going to roll are going to be for the sorceress. And we also need to come up with a name for her. So as you guys are watching, please drop into the chat and give us some names ideas for the sorceress. The one that basically looks like Esmeralda from The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Yeah.
All right, so our first stat roll is 16. Awesome. I wonder if we're going to get some like mega stats like we did on the last character. That was such a good day.
That would be intense.
All right. Nope.
Womp womp.
Mwah, mwah. 7. All right. Stat number 3. Whoops. All right, 14. Not bad. All right.
Oh, Sarah says Mirela.
Mirela?
Mirela.
M-R-E-L-A? Yeah.
Mirela. Mirela, right? Mirela? Sorry.
13. That's a good name. I like that name. All right, is there another die in there? Nope. All right. One more roll. Well, that one got caught up on top. All right, here we go. We got 2 more stats for her. 13 again. She's not bad. That 7, that drop stat is killing it. She may just not be very strong, physically strong, and that'll be okay.
That's what I was thinking of, her strength.
And 14. So she has a great stat spread, actually. So we're going to go with 16 intelligence, 13 wisdom, or no, I'm sorry, 14 wisdom, 14 charisma, 13 con, 13 dex, and 7 strength. That'll fit the sorceress. The sorceress class right there. So, any other names been tossed about?
Nope.
None so far? Okay, that's all right. Because we got stats to roll for the other character. All right. And we'll do that real quick. So the other female character, the one with the like cutlass or or scimitar almost, is the mirror image, sentient mirror image of our sorceress character. But of course, they don't want to be, she didn't want to be a sorceress, so she changed her hair color, didn't want to look like her, dresses differently, and carries a sword. So we're going to give her a whole different class. So here we go. All right, 13. Remember that one time Kurt spilled green paint all over the place? Only the real ones remember? 13.
You had a 6, a 5, and a...
Oh, yeah, 14. Good call. Good catch, Johnny. See? Johnny watches means 2 things. All right.
Oh, Chantel says, Chantel is always a good name.
That is a good name. All right, so 10.
Oh, Christian says hello from Denmark.
Nice. Hey, Christian. Thank you for joining us.
Dwayne O'Brien says, I'm over on YouTube now. Sorry. Back now. Okay. YouTube is smooth. Facebook was choppy. Yeah, I don't know why that's happening.
Yeah, we're going to
Thank
investigate.
you for everyone.
Yeah, we're going to investigate it.
Keep him with us. Making these 2 characters great.
Exactly. Wow, what's that? 16. Nice.
Yeah, it was 14, by the way.
Yeah. Did they let me know?
Yeah.
Of course. As they should. They're watching. You gotta catch me when I make mistakes, because I am human, and to err is human. To err majestically is Rick.
Oh my.
14. That
I
just
just
means
feel like I have to constantly be checking Rick's math at this point.
wow.
For stats, you only add the highest.
3.
Do you add the highest 3 numbers?
Yep, that's it.
Okay. Someone was asking. Yes, you do. Yep.
All right. Ooh, an 11. But it looks like the mirror image is actually having a better stat pool than the actual.
Dang.
All right. But that could be based on the training that she's undergone since becoming sentient. Has affected those stats. Oh, nice. 15. So her final stat is a 15. All right. So, what kind of a character class do you think the mirror image should be? Looking at her again, we've got, I'm going to take the Dragonborn and the Mimic off, sorry. And put these two in the center. All right, so the Sorceress, you know what? I think, what was the name that Sarah put down first?
Mirela.
M-I-R-E.
Which I pronounced as
Mirela? Mirela?
Mirela, yeah.
Okay, so Mirela, and we'll come up with a last name, and we'll call the mirror image Chantel.
There you go.
Yeah. So Chantel.
Or should it be Mirella spelled backwards?
Illyrium? Illyrium?
Illyrium.
That's actually kind of cool too.
Dang.
But Chantel doesn't want to be any of that. She's, no. Mm-mm.
Emerald Dragon Games says, hey, Navy guy.
Hey, hey. All right, so there we have it. We have Mirella, the sorceress, and Chantel, the sword wielder. But what kind of class do we want to give her?
Last name Devil.
Devil?
Mm-hmm, Devil. Both, I guess.
Mirella DeVille? And Chantel DeVille? That's actually not bad. Because here's one of the things I was thinking is, as a sorceress, I was looking in the Xanthar's Guide to Everything booklet, and for sorcerer, they have one of them is called Storm Sorcery,
Okay.
and it kind of reminds me of like the whirling dervishes, where they kind of have they use motion and dance to help power their magic in some capacity.
Okay.
So that's kind of how I feel like with the storm sorceress, that she uses the wind, because as a storm sorceress you get all these cool powers like wind speaker. You can command the magic you command is infused with elemental air. You can speak, read, and write primordial, knowing that this language allows you to understand and be understood by those who speak its dialects, aka the Ignan, the Terrans, the Aurans. Starting at first level, you can use a bonus action on your turn to cause whirling gusts of elemental air to briefly surround you. So as she's dancing and casting, it causes those whirling gusts to come around her. And I think that would look really cool.
Another last name is Diabla.
Diabla. Ooh, Mirella Diabla and Chantel Diabla.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds cool.
Thank you, AK 316.
That is.
Oh, how about a bard?
Bard is also a good option, but here's the thing. The leader of this villainous troupe, because he would love this girl as part of his troupe of freak shows, with having her as this devilish sorceress, storm sorceress, and the mirror image that was a wild magic anomaly.
Right.
Would definitely fit into his whole freak show thing, and they would have their own little presentation that they would do to excite the crowds as they are being fleeced of all their goods.
Nice.
So.
Also, fun fact, Nick says, here in San Diego for the weekend, as soon as the show is over, I'm going to go searching for a favorite local game shop.
In San Diego?
Yeah, he's in there right now.
In Mission Valley, which is, part of San Diego, there is a decent game store there. There was one up in Mission Valley on the near the college that closed down last year, which was kind of sad. I can't remember any other game stores out that way. But Ross Thompson would know the answer.
Tweet at him.
But he's not watching right now, I'm sure. Dang it, Ross. But there's there's some good ones out. There's some great comic book stores out there, comics and stuff, and there's a bunch. So, all right, so we're gonna go with Storm Sorcery is her magic. Comes from the power of elemental air. But
Oh,
Chantel,
Nick says he's in Mission Valley, actually.
oh, okay.
Nice.
Yeah. Chantel Diabla, the sword wielder. What would her class be? I was actually looking at a rogue swashbuckler, but it could be, she could be a fighter. She could be the rogue swashbuckler. She could be a ranger or something. What are your guys' thoughts on her? Because that'll help me decide where the stats are going to fall. So what are your guys' thoughts?
You could have 2 bards.
You could have 2 bards, you're right. Because we already have 2 rangers, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. We could actually make the female, the other female, a bard. But here's the thing.
Not the sorcerer. I mean, not the...
Not the
okay.
sorceress dancing now. Because I love the idea of her being a storm, a whirling dervish type character. But the sword-wielding female, Chantel Diabla, she could be a bard. But here's the thing that I thought was kind of interesting in my...
Rogue arcane trickster.
For the sorceress?
No.
Or for Chantel?
Correct.
Ooh. Okay, that's actually not bad. Arcane Trickster for her would be really good. And here's the funny story about her, though, just so you guys know. Because she is a mirror image, she almost never talks, because when she speaks, it comes out backwards because of that whole mirror image thing. And because mirror image as a spell, when cast, is set up as a defensive spell to help protect the caster, she has got this like innate need to always be in a defensive posture in regards to Mirela, to make sure that she's always protected. But they're still bad guys in their own way. But they have that weird bond connection. So what are you guys' thoughts? So I think Arcane Trickster could be pretty cool, but it would just, when she would cast it, any spells that have a verbal component would be spoken
go wrong.
in reverse. And the spell may do something different.
Chantel says bard from the College of Whispers.
It's kind of a neat, yeah, that's kind of cool too. But the thing is, she's not any of her bardic abilities she would pretty much have learned while traveling with Gregory and the band of individuals, and learning her bardic ways through Gregory's tutelage, I think, because she wouldn't have gone to a college, because she was, like I said, she's a mirror image that has become sentient, a version of Mirela. So, but I do like that. I like the idea of a thief, a rogue, arcane trickster. All right, so based on that, that means that her 16 to Dex, 14, so we have a 15. Man, there's so many options here. Go 14 charisma, because that's the same charisma as Mirela, so they have the same kind of look. She's going to be stronger at 10. Wisdom, I think wisdom will be a 11, intelligence a 14, and constitution 15. Yeah, that works. So those are the stats for those 2 characters. I think they're going to be pretty cool, because when I think about if they are at, on the freak show train or caravan, and they stop, they put up their tents, and they're going to do shows to bring the community out, and while the community's there, they're ransacking the town and stealing from the wealthy and basically financing their villainy. That these 2 would have to have a show where she would be dancing in these gusts of wind, and her manipulation of like lightning and stuff would be a part of all her display. And then the arcane trickster in Chantel would also have added some magical, add-ins, and also do a sword dance situation.
Yeah, that could work. I like that. Also, A Thousand Year Beard says the mirror image magic is pretty cool.
Thanks. Yeah. Now, I think what we need to come up with is alignment. I mean, they're bad guys. So are they going to be chaotic evil because the wind is chaotic, or neutral? I don't think these two would at all be lawful in any capacity. Obviously, they're breaking the law all the time, but so it's like a toss between chaotic evil and neutral evil. What are your thoughts? Also, if the Facebook page is causing is having some hiccups, we are also live right now with the same broadcast on YouTube and Twitch. So you can jump on either one of those platforms and be able to watch us there as well. So, based on that information,
I think chaotic.
chaotic.
Neutral.
Neutral.
Sorry, someone from the chat said neutral.
Someone jumped in on neutral?
Yep.
So neutral's not bad. I kind of feel like Mirela would be more the neutral evil, but Chantel may actually be chaotic evil because she's also born from chaos of wild magic.
Dang.
So neutral evil on Mirela and chaotic evil on Chantel. And that also might help with her, the whole idea of her being an arcane trickster, because wild magic is that, kind of a trickstery. You don't really know what the effect of it's going to be until it happens. And so she may have kind of followed that path because she wants to be, even though she is a mirror image and she's taking up the role of a thief and all that stuff, but she still does really like mean things. Even others in the party and in the evil bad guy group, she will do like mean things, like put glass shards in someone's food.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just if they anger her. By anger her, like bumped into her in the hallway of something, So that's pretty cool. All right, so based on that information, let's go back now to their personalities and their backgrounds. So Mirela, my thought was possibly a sailor. Because of the wind sorcery, she would be very highly sought after to help manipulate the winds of a sailing vessel.
Okay.
So let me grab the Player's Handbook and pull that out, and we can take a better, closer look at that. And of course, if you guys think there's a better one for that, please let us know. But sailor, you sailed on the sea-going vessels for years. In that time, you faced down mighty storms, which she actually can manipulate, monsters of the deep, and those who wanted to sink your craft to the bottomless depths. Discuss the nature of the ship you previously sailed with your dungeon master. Was it a merchant ship, a naval vessel, a ship of discovery, or a pirate ship? I kind of feel kind of piratey with her. Like she helped a pirate ship by being able to cast like gust of wind to get the sails full to move faster through the water to capture their prey that may not be using the wind proper. So background sailor, and the background on Chantel could be outsider or an outcast or outlander, just because she's different. She's not
Outlander.
at all like anything else.
Outlander, you think?
I think Outlander in some capacity. You grew up in the wilds, far from... No, maybe not.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, she's going to be a hard one to come up with a background outside of... Maybe we can just say, man, that's a tough one. Because she's not a charlatan or any of that stuff. She's literally a magical construct, an accidental magical construct that has become flesh and bone and everything. So if you guys have any, like, we could even become...
Orphan?
What?
Orphan?
Orphan? Maybe, yeah. That might work. Did someone put that in there?
Yeah, Sarah did.
Yeah, that might work. Or we can just maybe, as a group, everybody out there watching, we could come up with a whole new background based on this kind of situation. Like, what would you call Frankenstein's monster? As a background, a construct or something, right? Or a mistake, or a background unwanted.
That's the
something.
way Victor Frankenstein saw the monster, was as a mistake.
It's a mistake, yeah. And Mirella may even have some sort of like disdain towards this mirror image that shares her face. Maybe Mirella's extremely vain,
Like a homunculus?
like a homunculus. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's kind of what she is in one sense. What is it?
It's amnesia with a C.
Amnesiac?
Amnesiac, yeah. I'm sorry.
Okay, as a background, an amnesiac would be a pretty interesting, like you don't know your past, you don't have a past, everything is from this point of existence forward is your background, is who you are. That's actually a cool background concept.
Yeah.
You know what? Winner. Amnesiac.
Good job, Sarah. That was Sarah. Thank you.
So, as we look then at like the sailor personality traits, we can also start thinking about what an amnesiac personality traits would be. So, Mirella could be, my friends know they can rely on me no matter what. That doesn't sound right. I work hard so that I can play hard when the work is done. Maybe. I enjoy sailing into new ports and making new friends over a flagon of ale. Only if that ale is laced with a drug that she puts in it to steal all your stuff.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
To me, a tavern brawl is a nice way to get to know a new city. My language is as follows an Odiug's nest. I like a job well done, especially if I can convince someone else to do it. That sounds like her. Like she would use her wiles and charms to manipulate individuals to do things that she could do, but why do it when I can get you to do it for me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that. So, job well done. But I also like, oddly, I like the fact that she may never pass up a friendly wager.
Yeah, that's
She may be like, oh, you think you can do that? I can do it better. Bet. And be like, okay. And maybe that's why, oh, you don't want to cast mirror image in this wild magic zone? I'll do it. And boom. Oh, shoot, we have a, hi. We're going to call you Chantel. So won't pass up a wager. I like that. Her ideals, so we have respect, fairness, freedom, mastering people, and aspiration. For people, I'm committed to my crewmates, not to ideals. Of the two, she would be the one that would be more committed to her band of, ne'er-do-wellers. But Chantel is only bound to her, to Mirella. And like I said, if one of the other band members or troupe does something that she feels is spiteful, she will do really bad things.
Yeah. A Thousand-Year Beard also says, as an amnesiac, you could get flashback memories, good or bad. As the past becomes unclouded, the character can develop during the campaign, perhaps?
Okay. But the thing is this particular amnesiac, I almost want to do a double background, amnesiac / construct type, because this particular one would not have any previous memory available to them. Right. Unless they were feeding off psychic energy off of Mirella
yeah.
to capture things that maybe Mirella would have remembered.
Yeah.
And that could actually cause a lot of conflict.
Well, if it's a wild magic zone, is there basically no rules, or is there certain limitations within that?
I almost had an aneurysm based on that question, Johnny, because that's a great question. It's wild magic. It's basically a wild magic zone can afflict things in a multitude of ways. It manipulates magic in its own chaotic way. They do have charts and tables on wild magic, but it's literally anything you want to happen could potentially happen in that space. Whatever your imagination can draw from. So I like the idea of that wild magic is also a binding connection between the two of them, and she could get psychic flashbacks that Mirella may not, like, if they're close to each other and someone's trying to ask questions of Mirella can suppress that memory to the point that it actually pushes to Chantel, and then not, so that she will never lie because Chantel now has that memory. And let's
Yeah.
say she loses it if she pushes it,
Dang.
right? That would be sick. Now she's also becoming amnesiac and pushing more of her energy into Chantel.
So
And
it's like a feeding energy.
yeah, that which is super dark.
Like almost a parasitic kind of
Yeah.
Yeah,
So her like familiar is like a parasitic familiar.
yeah,
Cool. Dang.
yeah. That's super dark.
And like she calls her Chantel because like, oh, never mind. It's like I was gonna say it's like a friend that she like lost when she was a kid. So.
Yeah, or like maybe
Or like Chantel, like one of the things she said with like that was her. She named herself from, like that experience or something.
yeah.
From Mirella's experience.
Or it could be, or like you're saying, through Morella's past lives,
Yeah.
she took on the persona of like, oh, I don't want anybody to know me as Morella in this town because, yeah. But if I tell them I'm all Chantel, or Chantel was my imaginary friend as a little girl, and oh wait, my imaginary friend is real, and oh, by the way, she looked just like me when I was a little girl, and now she looks just like me now.
Yeah. Sarah says that's a great idea.
Parasitic memory with a connection to Morella. That's sick. Sick as in twisted and evil,
Yes.
but awesome as far as like story hook and character development. So we have that. The ideals for Morella, I like the idea of she has people, I'm committed to my crewmates, not the ideas. I like the idea of her being committed to her clan or the troop, and any like group that she's with, she's committed to them, but she's not really, the ideals that they may believe in aren't maybe not my own, but
Right.
it's all good. Because that's a very neutral thing.
Yeah.
Whereas an amnesiac ideals could literally be something totally different as far as what Chantel's ideals would be. It'd be like, because of an amnesiac, maybe the person they're most connected with, they share the ideal, but they don't, I don't know. Because she doesn't share the ideals at all. Because she's like, I only am connected to this one person, and maybe that could be the ideal. I'm literally connected to one person. All others around me are just nothingness.
Chaff in the wind.
Yeah. And that could also be a part of that whole parasitic, psychic, wild magic connection.
Also, Nick has to head out. Have
All
a
right,
good
Nick.
Rest of the show.
Have a good one. All right, so ideal hit. Bonds. Again, whoosh.
Oh, also Sarah says my amnesiac character gets migraines when trying to remember the past.
How about, so because she doesn't have that she wouldn't get migraines. Because, I mean, that's a great idea. But I don't think she would get migraines because if it's a memory push, she would have a different physical reaction to it. And I think a good physical reaction would be like a nosebleed.
Okay.
Like as something's being pushed into her mind and psyche, it causes her to have that stress, and a nosebleed occurs, which would be that sign that something's happening. Yeah, nosebleeds. And the bond here, I'm loyal to my captain first. The ship is most important. I'll always remember my first ship. I think that'll be her thing. I remember my first ship.
Also, Sarah says the nosebleed is cool. Makes sense.
And that bond for the amnesiac here would be the nosebleed, when a memory push is given to her through the parasitic memory portion of remembrance, and there in this capacity, the bond creates that nosebleed. And she, but also her bond is defense. She's a defender of her creator. So like I was saying, because mirror image when cast is a spell set up to help protect the caster
Okay.
through multiple images, so that the enemy doesn't know which one's the real, and starts whacking away at whatever. So she still feels that bond of being a defender towards Mirela, and it's kind of a sick bond as this is all growing. As she's maybe even in the end, she actually she may even try to draw more memories out of Mirela because it makes her feel more whole. And by doing so is causing Mirela to lose her mind, literally, like forgetting spells, forgetting all sorts of stuff. Like let's say that's how Chantel became an arcane trickster, is because she psychically drained a magical spell that was memorized or was part of the sorceress mind into her, and now was able to gain the ability of casting magic as an arcane trickster. You know?
Nice.
And it's really just jacking Chantel or Mirela up.
So, which makes sense because she becomes more mad, I think.
Yeah.
As
Driving her down a path
she's
of
not just
craziness.
like, So
Yeah.
she becomes, and therefore, like when Gregory comes to her and is like, we need to do something, she becomes more and more.
Yeah, irritable.
Yeah.
Yeah, like.
Willing also, I think, to take the risk. So she's
Yeah.
literally going insane.
Yes.
Kind of like a Cruella de Vil type thing.
Yeah. But Mirela Diabla.
Mirela Diabla.
So a flaw for Mirela, there's a bunch of them here for the sailor. I follow orders even when I think they're wrong. I'll say anything to avoid having to do extra work. Once someone questions my courage, I never back down no matter how dangerous the situation. Once I start drinking, it's hard for me to stop. I can't help but pocket loose coins and other trinkets I come across. My pride will probably lead to my destruction. And I think that could be it. Her pride would lead to her destruction.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that works.
And then the flaw for Chantel, the parasitic, mind-draining, soul-stealing mirror image protector. She has a lot of flaws, I think. The biggest one just being the amnesiac, being not having any memory or any idea of or sense of a past or person. But maybe she has become addicted to the memory drain, where she wants to, like I said, continually draw off memories from her creator.
Okay.
It would be interesting.
Oh, Sarah says klepto. She could be.
Oh, yeah, and Chantel could be a klepto because she's never had anything to represent her past, and maybe she does do that. Yeah, klepto's good. Good job. All right. No, I can dig all that. That all sounds amazing.
That's good.
Yeah. So both these characters, as far as backgrounds and everything, is ridiculously good. A sailor who has found their way into the arms. I almost want to make Mirela like the romantic interest to Gregory in some capacity.
Really?
Or to one of the others in the group.
Okay.
And then, which also causes Chantel to be, because it could almost be a romantic mind, because of that connection, she could get super jealous.
Oh,
and cause,
okay.
When I think about all this stuff, granted, in a D&D campaign setting, the characters aren't going to get all this cool, like, feed in on unless you're like writing a story. But I kind of feel like a lot of the internal mess of the group, because evil always turns on itself. That's like a big story arc, anyways. That Chantel would be like a linchpin to that internal destruction. Like Gregory is always around Chantel or Mirela, and I have to be there. I'm her protector. Don't tell me you're going to take care of her. Okay, great. I'm going to fine dust some of this iocane powder into your freaking drink, and you're going to be sick for a few days or dead.
Yeah. Dang.
But I also feel like that bond between the two of them should also be, I don't want to say like Corsican brothers, if anybody remembers that old movie with Cheech and Chong, where they're twins, but they're not identical twins. But if one of them gets punched, the other one feels the pain. but maybe there could be a connection as more memories are lost into Chantel from Mirela. That pain that Chantel feels, Mirela also feels.
Sarah says she really likes the jealousy angle.
Yeah.
That would be really good.
All right, let's take a look at the miniatures one more time, as because we always do like. So this is like a basic fleshing of the characters. We're not going to go through and pick all of their feats and all that stuff. We kind of do that off camera later. But looking at them, let's give them some magic items, and we also have to give them a level because obviously Mirela is not going to be first level.
Yeah, and I think Arcane Trickster
It has to be
third.
Yeah. And I think that's the
Which
level.
I think would make sense.
Yeah.
Just third.
For her,
the
for Chantel.
player, yeah.
But for Mirela, I'm thinking like 5th or 6th.
Okay.
Yeah. So what do you guys think? 5th, 6th level as a storm sorcerer. They do get something kind of cool that involves, the whole electric damage and stuff like that. It's on page 51. If you all want to also jump in there.
Oh, Sarah says was just about to ask about level.
Yeah. So at 6th level, they get what's called the Heart of the Storm and Storm Guide powers as a storm sorcerer. You gain resistance to lightning and thunder damage. In addition, whenever you start casting a spell of 1st level or higher that deals lightning or thunder damage, stormy magic erupts from you, and this eruption causes creatures of your choice that you can see within a 10-foot area to take lightning or thunder damage as well, equal to half your sorcerer level. So that would be 3 points of electrical damage in addition to whatever spell you're trying to cast because of the storm
Was
magic.
that 6th?
At 6th level.
Okay, Sarah said go 6th.
Okay.
I agree with that.
All right. So there we go. 6th level storm sorceress and a third level arcane trickster. So that's really good stuff. So again, back to the miniatures. Let's come up with some magic items. Let's look at Chantel. She's got like this jacket, which is kind of a neat. She also has the same kind of dress, but in different colors than what Mirela has. She has, but a cool jacket, the cutlass, and also the headband.
I was going to say the headband. Well, and is there a knife sticking out, or is that just a
that
scabbard?
could be the sheath or scabbard for the cutlass, yeah.
She has boots, too. Sorry.
Like boots of striding and springing type situation, or boots of silent step, or boots of quick action, which would give her maybe an extra action per round, but it also allows her to maybe move with a little bit more of a blur. So those are some options. What do you guys think in the chat?
I think having special boots would be good.
Okay. So boots. Like, what do you guys think? Boots of the dance? Boots of dancing?
Quick?
Boots of quickness?
Yeah.
All right, boots of quickness, which will give her the ability that if someone catches her putting a poison in one of the party members' drinks, she can bolt out of there quick.
Yeah.
All right, so that's pretty cool. I like that. And I think that her cutlass or short sword could be like a +1, just a minor magical item, but worth her having. But now looking at our sorceress, who's a 6th level, she doesn't have a lot, but she has, I think, some pretty interesting, like you see the jewel or the belt that she's wearing.
Yeah, with the jangles.
Right.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
The bells, potentially.
I feel like
I forget
that
what
could be
that's
something.
called. That's like, it has a name.
It does. We'll look it up, but I feel like a belt of something, or a belt, a magical belt of, I don't know. Because she, like I said, even when she casts her spells, she likes to be in motion and movement because of her wind and storm sorcery. And I feel like that could be like a channeling item that allows her to be
nice.
more, like, allows her to focus more. Like a belt of focus, maybe?
Oh, see, I thought you meant like she was channeling energy from something else. Like it's like collecting.
Oh, like charging up as she moves
Right, because
through the wind?
a lot of her stuff has to do with electric
and motion.
damage, right?
Yes. She would have that as a, primary focus is electrical damage, like shocking grasp and lightning bolts and stuff like that. Ah, man. So,
Also, her hat. You can do
yeah,
something with her hat.
headdress. Her hat kind of looks like a bandana or a head wrap.
Looks like Meg's hat from Family Guy.
Dang it. That'd be funny. Shut up, Mir. Yeah, that belt has got to be the magic item that
I think so.
let's say of electric focus or static focus, which will add to her storm. The one thing, the storm or heart of the storm, where when she casts the energy in the storm, comes around her, that actually could focus it, and instead of it being 3 extra points of damage, it's full level.
Okay.
6,
yeah. Nice. It helps put some of that damage
Yeah.
at full.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sarah says you should give Mirela elemental adaptation feat.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And her headdress, I almost feel like, what are the clackers that the Romani dancers would use?
The symbols?
They're like cymbals, but they're like
Tiny ones.
tiny little finger cymbals.
Yeah, I know what you're not maracas.
Yeah, they're not maracas. They're not like that.
Shoot.
What's that, Johnny?
I'm looking it up.
Dang it, I'm going to be annoyed when he says the name.
It looks like they're called Zill.
Zills?
Z-I-L-L.
Interesting.
Zill, also Z-I-L-S, or finger symbols.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Zills. Oh, man.
Guitar Center sells them as finger symbols, so that's good enough for me.
Okay. Finger symbols. Of charming. So my thought is, sometimes when she's focusing her dances and she's doing the symbols, if she makes eye contact with her victim,
Oh, clap.
clack, clack,
Yeah,
and it kind of like that hypnosis, and she can maybe cast a influence an influential spell like charm person or command.
Yeah.
And make them do something they would
Or like
not
suggest.
do. Yeah, like a suggestive spell. Yeah. So finger symbols of which how a lot of like hypnosis.
Yeah.
Those snap things to get people's attention. So, all right, I like that. I also want to give her a wind fan, but that's super powerful. I don't want. It's like a regular fan, right? That a lady would use, in hot weather. But when they use it as a wind fan, it casts gust of wind, which could literally
that
knock
would be
people
so
down
cool.
and stuff.
She would use that when they
Yeah.
would go to the bars.
Yeah, or as an escape
Yeah.
thing. Oh crap! A whole troop of bad guys. Whoosh.
I feel like maybe we should be higher than 6th level, but I don't know.
Yeah, but I don't want her to be higher level than Gregory. Gregory's
True.
8th.
Oh, yeah, he is 8th.
Yeah.
True, yeah.
So, all right. So how much time we got left today? We got like 10 minutes.
We have about 10.
All right. So real quick, because it was a tie before I did the tiebreaker. All right. We do have, and this is not going to be. There's no dice rolled for this one. I'll be in here. But we do have the Mimic that also was a 17 on, let's make something for this. So let's come up with a name and reason that this is part of our, outside of the fact that it would absolutely be in the freak show thing with Gregory, because he brings all these odd monsters and creatures and beings together in his little circus. What is the name of our Mimic? I know some people have been like, let's just call him Tom. Or Larry. But let's give him a, like Rover. You know, like he's a pet mimic that Gregory keeps in his space and feeds.
Spot.
Yeah, that'd be pretty funny. So if you guys have any input on what the name of this amazing mimic that in this instance looks like a cask of ale.
Sarah says Korskar.
Korskar? That's a cool name.
AK316 says Barmo.
Barmo. Oh, that's a good one.
I like that one.
I do too. I like, all right, so the mimic's name is Barmo. Hey, Barmo. Hey, boy. So Barmo is a mimic, and what's his background? Why does Gregory keep him about? Or is he's not like a guard dog. He's more like a I think he would be like that thing that Gregory uses, like if he's in a meeting with somebody and they're foolish enough to have a private meeting in Gregory's wagon, and Gregory's like, you know, it would be great if you could sponsor our troop, you know, as we travel about, and you know, you have the ability to give up some money to help us on our journey to the next city, and we'll obviously speak highly of you, and it could help build trade routes between, because you are a high wealthy merchant, blah blah blah, whatever his little thing would be. And then when the guy is like, I really don't think that's going to be in my best interest, and or maybe if he calls him Gregory without the rest of his name, and he feels insulted, he'd be like, oh, you know, that's fine. Go ahead. Why don't you, before we go, let's have a drink.
I was going to say, yeah, he tells them, go get a drink,
yeah.
and then...
Yeah. It's like, well, oh well. Yeah, and he gets his revenge. And sometimes Barmo is the treasure chest.
Yes.
They're like, you know, or whatever. And but that's how Barmo knows he's going to get fed. He's going to be taken care of by Gregory, and does all these weird things. So what do you guys think on that? That's kind of like why Barmo is kept around.
I think so.
Obviously also needs to have a chain on him.
Yes.
In some capacity. I don't know. A magical chain that doesn't allow him to, in the middle of the night, just decide to eat Gregory. Or maybe he has a pet cage he puts him in.
I think somehow Gregory would probably have, like, spells over him, right?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
He's a good enough bard.
Yeah.
So would teaching Barmo to do new tricks be like teaching a dog to do new tricks? So it's like, you know, sit down, roll over, play fetch, turn it into a chest of drawers.
Yep. That sounds perfect.
Eat my enemies.
Oh, yes. And by the way, I will feed you if they upset me, and you're going to have all the food you'd ever want.
Yeah.
And he does. Barmo keeps getting bigger and bigger.
Yes.
Barmo used to be just a watch holder, a little watch case. Now he's this huge creature. Eventually,
Did you say watch?
What? Yeah. What? Eventually, Barmo would be the wagon itself.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
You know,
he'll be an extra wagon that they just like pull along.
Yeah, and be like, you know, go ahead, go on into my wagon. We'll have a meeting. And what's in there?
Oh,
Sarah goes in the door, just like bones just come out.
Yeah. Yep. On the other side. Sarah says, give Barmo a ring of spell turning as a handle.
Ooh, Jesus. Yeah, so that if people cast spells on it reflects it back.
Yep.
Jeez.
So they're like, I'm not going in there. And then, or I'm not getting that wine. And
right.
Then.
In it.
Dang.
Yeah, Barmo has a ring of spell turning. I like it. All right. Very cool. All right, everybody. We're coming to the end. We appreciate everybody joining us today. We did 2 characters. We did both Mirela Diabla and her mirror image psychic leech, Chantel, which are really cool. So Mirela, as you all know, who have watched, and who, if anybody tunes in later to watch this, is our 6th level sorceress, who is a storm sorceress. She has a background as a sailor. She's all about her personality is a job well done. As long as I don't have to do it and I can get someone else to do it, I'm all about it. She also will not pass up a friendly wager because she's full of pride. That's her big flaw. She's very prideful. Her ideal is people. She's very much bonded to her group when she becomes part of a group, but she may not necessarily share the same ideals as that group. And she always will remember, as far as her bond, she'll always remember the first ship that she ever sailed on. It's like, that's her big sailor bond. Her stats were strength of 7, dex 13, con 13, intelligence 16, wisdom 14, and charisma 14. And those will be modified because she now is 6. We did decide to make her 6th level. So those will be modified based on that when we get her all said and done. And then her mirror image. So Chantel, the sword-wielding female figure here, is a mirror image that was brought to life because of a wild magic surge when Mirela cast mirror image. One of them became sentient. This is the one that became sentient. She is a 3rd level thief who is now an arcane trickster. She is a parasite. So her background, we came up with this whole amnesiac background, but it's really twisted in that she doesn't have any memories before her creation, but she has this mental bond with Mirela that if Mirela tries to suppress her memory or doesn't want to lie, she'll push that information and memory to Chantel. But once it's pushed to Chantel, Mirela loses that information and can't recall it. And now it becomes part of Chantel's background and everything. Her idea is that she's also connected just to one person, and that one person is Mirela, her creator. In that bond, whenever she gets a memory from Mirela, and as more and more memories start becoming hers, she begins having bloody noses as a representation to that connection. Also, her bond is she will always, as a mirror image is cast as a defensive spell to protect the caster. Chantel still feels that need to protect Mirela, which has also caused this really weird jealousy factor where she doesn't want anybody else to pretend to or even want to protect her or get close to her because that's hers. Chantel and Mirela are that bonded. Her other flaws is that she is now becoming addicted to the memory gains that she's getting from Chantel, so she may be trying to leech more by getting her to talk more. And she's also a klepto because, again, because she has no past and has no understanding of what's right or wrong as a child. Maybe even she's like, ooh, that's pretty, that's mine. But the other thing is, when she speaks, she tends to speak backwards because a mirror image would show things backwards for her. But Mirela understands her perfectly. Anytime she talks, it's almost like they almost can understand each other, again, because of the mental bond, maybe. Mm-hmm. Mirela's magical items that we gave her are a belt of static focus, focusing on storm magic or electrical magic, and finger symbols of charming. And then Chantel's magic items are boots of quickness and a +1 cutlass. So yeah, they're pretty well equipped and ready to take on all the bad guy or all the good guys that Gregory will be drawing around them. Yeah, being sent their way to stop their villainous ways, as they are now a part of Gregory and all of those guys. And just to show you Gregory, this is him right here. He is our leader of the bad guys. There he is. He is a bard. He is not nice. And he has a pocket watch in his hand that allows him once a day to turn back time for 5 minutes, up to 5 minutes.
Did you say watch?
I did say watch. Johnny watches. All right.
But he wasn't there when Morello's cast her spell.
No.
That was before then.
Yep. All right, everybody. So thank you so much for joining us today. Go to your local game store, become a part of the local community. If you don't have a gaming group, you can always usually find one at your game store, because there's always somebody out there looking to start a tabletop game, an RPG session, or a group. So go out and check them out. And if you are checking them out, take a picture while you're there. Or if you already have a gaming group, take a picture of you and your group and post it to us. Send us these pictures. Post them either in the chat or just send it to us through a direct message on Facebook, and let us see it, because you never know, when we do Board Games and Beyond, we might just shout you and your game group out, or your local game store. So on that note, I have been Rick. This is Game Trade Media's Building Character, and I'll see you at the game store. Hey guys, we're super excited to share that our new book, The Overstreet Guide to Collecting Tabletop Games, is now available.
We love tabletop gaming as much as you do, and we're so thrilled to share the finished book with the community. This book covers the history of the tabletop industry, from classic board games like Monopoly to collectible card games like Magic, and of course RPGs like Dungeons and Dragons.
The book also highlights some of the top talent in the industry, featuring interviews with Peter Atkinson, Matthew Mercer, Larry Elmore, and many more. Plus, we chatted with collectors from all walks of life who shared their own knowledge and insight about tabletop collecting.
We also discuss everything from the impact of crowdfunding on the current state of the industry, as well as take a look at all sorts of ways to preserve your collection for years to come. This book provides a perfect snapshot of the tabletop industry at large and shows what makes this hobby so great.
You can head into your local game store or comic shop right now and pick up your copy of the Overstreet Guide to Collecting Tabletop Games. If they don't have it in stock, you can order your copy through previews, through Game Trade Magazine, or through gemstonepub.com.
Thanks for watching Building Character. If you liked it, leave a like and a comment below, and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any new content.